This is Lance Archer, the American Psycho.
This is Brian Thompson, the voice of TCW Wrestling.
This is the original hardcore chair swinging freak of ECW, the one and only Axel. Yes, this is the Shockmaster, and you're listening to Hardcore Wrestling Radio.
Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Hardcore Wrestling Radio. I'm your host, the Shining Star Rick Stein, of course. I got the crew here with me. First, he's my sidekick, he's my partner, he's the son of a bitch, Andy. Andy, how we doing tonight?
I'm doing fine, and I hope everybody else is too.
Alright, and of course, back from the CWA, he's Joseph Knight. Joe, what's going on?
Shaking my tablet, trying to get this damn network to work. The WWE network sucks.
Oh, yeah, that's very glitchy. And over from the West Coast, he's a Bay Area MVP, known as Will.
The only thing I gotta say is, Vince, when you touch something, why does it glitch? Why? Fucking why?
And last but not least, we have the incomparable Lance Montz. Lance, how we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me.
Well, guys, before we get to the WWE Network, let's talk about John Cena. He reportedly suffered a knee injury this past week on Raw, but early reports say that he suffered dislocated his knee. Excuse me, but I don't know, guys. I think this could be a kayfabe injury. Joe, what do you think?
I think it's a kayfabe injury. I think they just right now don't know what to really do with Cena at this moment. They kind of burned him in the championship picture. I think they're trying to do something with Bray Wyatt, but even the fans were more behind Bray Wyatt than Cena now. So I think it's just going to give time for Cena just to kind of have his little fun time with his Bella twin and just see what they can do with him after or before WrestleMania.
Andy, actually, that's a good point. With this second season of Total Divas coming up, wouldn't that have been a good idea for him to just kind of like keep him at home for a week with, Nikki Bella, and kind of like done that little bit of a shooting or a segment, maybe even like little, to kind of promote that?
I really don't know where they're trying to go with the storyline, because if they drop John Cena out of WrestleMania, to me it won't seem like WrestleMania. So even if they've just done it to try and boost the ratings up for the new Divas show, I don't know, but I just think it sucks. Whether you're a John Cena fan or not, he should be in WrestleMania, not put on the sidelines.
Well, I think he's going to be in WrestleMania. I really do. I mean, I think this was something that this attack on the Wyatts was to try to push the that match. Will, wouldn't you happen to agree that's what they're trying to do?
Oh, yeah. I mean, how else would you put this together? I mean, it went from the weak takedown that Eric Rowan did to Cena, which, alas, had the injury to Cena, and whoever said the Nikki Bella thing, good for you. But, I mean, this is about time where, you give Cena enough time to, kayfabe quotely get your ass in gear before Mania and get ready for the match of your life. I mean, against him and him, Rowan and Harper against the Shield is just for right now, but come WrestleMania time, oh yeah. So for right now, let's Cena have his 2 weeks of healing herbal sessions with Nikki Bella whatsoever, however you want to call it.
Now, Lance, you actually watched the first season of Total Divas, and John Cena was a big part of that. So, do you foresee him being a part of the second season of Total Divas?
As long as he's with Nikki Bella, yeah. And he's going to come off like a gigantic douche in season 2, probably, too.
Okay. also, what kind of a match do you foresee him having with Bray Wyatt? John Cena's always been a main event player. How can these two be a main event or in the higher tier cards a match at WrestleMania?
Well, I'm just saying, they're probably going to do some sort of possible stipulation in there or something. But I don't like it. But they're probably going to put him up there anyway because it's John freaking Cena. That's just what they do. They put him up in the higher part of the card because, well, it's John Cena.
Yeah. Andy, let me ask you one other question about this. Do you really foresee it being a one-on-one match, or do you foresee them trying to do some kind of a gauntlet match against Cena against all the Wyatts?
It's going to be a gauntlet of some description because he's not going to fight them all singly. I don't even think it'd be a gauntlet match. I think it's going to be 3-on-1.
Yeah.
Which is going to suck. If they're going to do that at WrestleMania, it's just going to suck. To be honest, I don't think the Wyatts have done enough to even warrant he being in WrestleMania. Maybe I'll upset people for saying that, but I really do. I don't think they've done enough to be in there yet.
Yeah.
And neither has Shield. Shield don't even deserve. There's been wrestlers that have been in the company 3 or 4 years before they've made a WrestleMania stint. At best, they should be on the early card that doesn't actually get televised.
Yeah. Like I said, I could see them being at WrestleMania, but I mean, someone with John Cena who's a higher tier wrestler being with someone like the Wyatts doesn't seem to fit. It's a clash. Joe, do you agree or disagree?
You know what? However you take it, the Wyatts are getting popular. They're as popular as the Shield. And you could tell from they're giving more mic time to Bray Wyatt. Here, the only thing I disagree is that they're going to put all 3 of them against Cena. I think what you're going to see is this WrestleMania is going to be basically to set up the breaking of the Shield. You're going to have the 2 Wyatts, Harper and Goldface, versus Goldface, and then you have Rollins and Reigns. You're going to have 2 Shield members versus 2 Wyatt family members. You want to play it really smart. You can have Bray Wyatt versus John Cena, and then have the entire Wyatt family attack Cena, and then have the Shield members run in and attack. And you can see basically Ambrose running off and saying, you know what, I'm not helping Cena, and runs off. So I think that's basically how you're going to see WrestleMania play out. They're going to try to push the Wyatts versus the Shield, and they're going to leave Bray Wyatt to take on John Cena. Because again, you know, time and time again, you've seen John Cena be always the main event of WrestleMania. Now, to be honest, they really have no need for him at WrestleMania. So that's probably why they kept setting him up to be beaten up by the Wyatts, just to have him something to do, a marquee name on that, you know, on that event. So I think that's what they're going to do with them.
All right. Well, let's move on. Also, this past Monday night on Raw, we saw Brock Lesnar come out. He kind of had an open contract, and of course, that's where he wasn't happy. And you know, obviously, he wanted a title shot. You know, we saw Paul Heyman says, you know what, we're going to quit, and, you know, we're going to walk away, and this and that. And I'm like, oh, God. I'm like, you know, this is the last segment, and we haven't seen, of course, The Undertaker. So what are we going to see? Undertaker's coming out, and lo and behold, who comes out? Now we're going to see Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. Guys, I really don't know. I really don't know if I wanted to see Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar now. I mean, would this have been a good, maybe last year? Yeah, or the year before? Okay. But, you know, we've all agreed that this is probably Undertaker's very last match, if not next to last match. We've talked about this, about who Undertaker should be passing on the torch. This should be a torch-passing match. And I certainly do not want to see Undertaker pass this on to Brock Lesnar. So, I mean, we know that Undertaker's going to lose. I mean, I'm sorry, excuse me, Undertaker's going to win. without question, he's going to win this match. So it's like, I hate to say it, but this is going to be a piss break match. Does anybody agree with me or disagree?
I've got an audible feeling that Undertaker's going to lose it. I really do.
Really?
I don't see the point in having Brock Lesnar coming back in a match where every single fan thinks he's got no chance against The Undertaker. I mean, to be perfectly honest, if it come to a real street fight, Brock Lesnar against The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar would give The Undertaker his arse.
I agree.
Yeah.
But, unfortunately, this is wrestling, and it doesn't work that way. You know that, and I know that.
And Vince does not like giving you what you want. And everyone knows. For the first time ever, there's that Undertaker is guaranteed to win. No one is even suspecting that Brock Lesnar's going to win. They think it's a joke, and I think Vince is going to pull one out on everybody.
I disagree, because I'm going to tell you, WrestleMania 26, I knew HBK was going to lose. And I'm going to tell you, and then after that, when Triple H fought him the 2 times, I'm like, yeah, I mean, it didn't even flinch. The only time I really thought for a second that Undertaker might have lost after that was the CM Punk match. I really thought that CM Punk had it. And then, again, lo and behold, was I a fool.
I got to say this, and I want everybody's opinion on this. Why bring Brock Lesnar back? Give him, I don't know, he really hasn't had any strong wins. And then they put him in a senseless feud with the Big Show. So has he actually had that impact match that proves his dominance besides him sneaking attacking people from behind? We haven't yet seen that breakout match or that big match that means something. And I actually have to think that maybe he's going to get over on The Undertaker on this one.
If he does, I'm going to be absolutely disgusted because I'm sorry. Undertaker should not be giving this win to someone like Brock Lesnar. Why?
I think The Undertaker. I really think The Undertaker's going to give it to him because they are friends. And I'm going back to that UFC match where Brock Lesnar got out the ring, walked up to The Undertaker dead-eyed him, and it was on the internet for a good year. Are we going to get this on or what, buddy? And I think that's exactly what he meant. Everyone thought it was a proper UFC battle, and I think it was this WrestleMania, and it was, are you going to get it on? But it's how he called him buddy. Undertaker doesn't call people buddy if he's not friends with them.
I agree with you there, and I know that
I think he's prepared to drop it for Brock Lesnar because he knows it will piss off the fans.
If it does, then...
I'm sure Joseph can verify this. Every wrestling conversation I've ever heard. Now, to me, I would always think when you retire, it's always best to go out with a win.
On your back. No, it's best to go on your back.
Ideally, it's always best to go out with a loss. You get remembered more if your last match you lose. And I think The Undertaker's going to lose to Brock Lesnar. I really do.
You know what?
I don't want it, and I'll be pissed if it happens, but I think it's going to, unfortunately.
And I have to agree with Andy. Look at the other. There's right now, if you want to go out, at least retire, or you can even have a tainted loss. Brock Lesnar can have a tainted victory. A year, 2 years down the road, The Undertaker can come out of retirement and come back and beat him with SummerSlam or something like that. It's think about the if you're going to lose to someone, you might as well lose to Brock Lesnar, who's a big, jacked-up guy, who's a former UFC guy. You don't want to, as much as I like Daniel Bryan, who should get this win over Taker, Daniel Bryan's like a little kid next to The Undertaker. I think if you're going to lose, you might as well lose to someone who's actually can look like he can give you a beating that you can't get back up.
But you know what, though? Let's face it. Undertaker is not 25 years old, even 30 years old. Undertaker's an old man. So guess what? I think that Daniel Bryan could give him a beating.
Oh, it could.
Hate to say it.
He could, but honestly, if you want to go out in a match that, and if I was in knowing Vince, he probably wants to make as much money out of it.